What is film? How does it work? Nobody knows. According to Wikipedia, photographic film captures the image formed by light from the surface being photographed. The sensitive elements in the film are most often silver halide, which can change their structure when excited by light. But I don't even understand what I just said, so let me simplify it for you. Basically, it's a surface that captures light. Before film animation, the zoetrope was used to make early animations. It was a cylinder with slits cut in it. On the inside was a row of images. When the cylinder would spin, it would create the illusion of movement.
Filmography.
A little forward in time and photographic film has already been invented. Leland Stanford, a horse racer, asked Edward Muybridge, a photographer, to take pictures to see if all four legs were off the ground if a horse was at full run. The result of this experiment was a cabinet card of a horse in motion. The name of the cabinet card was coincidentally A Horse in Motion. In January of 1888, Louis Le Prince created a patent for a primitive version of a film camera. He then, in October of the same year, created the first film known in existence entitled Roundhay Garden Scene. Tommy L. Edison, a man with a passion for invention and being partially deaf, then created an early way to view films. It was called the Kintograph and was a film camera and viewer combination. The viewer had a hole which you could look through to see a film. The Lumiere brothers created a more advanced version of the Kintograph with sharper images called the Cinematograph.
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 Let's just have it say it.
Cinematograph.
There you go. It was operated by hand crank, not electricity, so it could be portable. And then rather by having a small box where only one person could see the film, the cinematograph, that could project the image onto a larger screen. In 1896, prepare for some butchering of the French language, La Fée aux Choux was released, The Fairy of the Cabbages, and it is regarded to be the first film to have an actual story. The Edison Manufacturing Company had a stranglehold on the early American movie industry. They had films such as Actualities, a sort of small documentary, comedies, and travelogues. Eventually, special effects came into the picture. Stop tricks and double exposure are some of the oldest tricks in the book. George Méliès is known for his use in special effects in his films, and used these tricks and many more to make more creative movies. The use of special effects in The Latham Loop allowed for longer, more narrative-driven films to be produced and gain popularity. In 1927, Warner's released The Jazz Singer, which had accompanying parts with a phonograph disc. This sound-on-disc process was used until it was passed by the sound-on-film process, when audio would be recorded directly onto the film. Wow, look at that! The world is full of beautiful colors, and you can experience it from the comfort and darkness of your own local theater. After many failed attempts at color, they finally got it right. Technicolor. After it was first realized in Walt Disney's short Flowers and Trees, Technicolor was used in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Singing in the Rain, and The Wizard of Oz. After the 1950s, movies came from all around the world. Because of this, Hollywood and other movie studios in America declined. This era was known as the 1960s. In the 1970s, producers started to dabble in a new way of storytelling, questionably moral main characters, twist endings, and stories out of chronological order. This also brought a new rating system. Jaws was a huge financial success, and originated the idea of a blockbuster. In 1977, Star Wars was released by George Lucas. Now studios focused on making smaller amounts of movies, with a bigger budget and better storytelling. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg continued to dominate the market in the 1980s. The successfulness of Jaws, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones made sequels and expectations. During this decade, Tron was released, one of the first motion pictures to incorporate computer graphics. Another invention of the 1980s was the VCR, which stands for something. People used the VCR to watch movies at home. Movie companies weren't a fan of this, though. They decided to take legal action, but they failed. So, renting out movies became a new way to make money off of the film industry. In the 1990s, movies with advanced special effects became popular and dominated the market, with movies like Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and the Titanic. In the 2000s, more documentaries were filmed, and you could access movies through more technical films were created, including Avatar, Harry Potter, and The Lord of the Rings. In the 2000s, superhero films jumped into popularity and are currently dominating the market. In conclusion, we've certainly made it far from Tommy Edison's caveman film cameras and 1-minute boring films of trains arriving at train stations. Film has developed into an art form of its own, and there's no slowing down this massive industry.